9 times out of 10 I am able to pick up a shade that most likely will be my shade. And I just want you guys to be able to do that as well. Hey y'all, it's me Femi. Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, I will be helping you guys figure out your foundation shades. To be very honest with you guys, if I go into a store right now, 9 times out of 10, if I look at a brand and I see like their shade range and their shades, 9 times out of 10 I am able to pick up a shade that most likely will be my shade. And I just want you guys to be able to do that as well. I know a lot of times when we go into the stores, the girls that help us in there, they're always giving us the wrong undertones, or they're giving us a shade too dark for us, or they might even give us a shade too light for us. So sometimes we just gotta help ourselves. So I want to be able to help you guys so you can figure it out on your own. Let's hop right into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about that helped me personally figure out my foundation shade are undertones. So the undertones that there are warm, cool, and neutral. Me personally, I am a warm undertone, and I'm gonna give you guys my foundation shades just in case that you wanted a reference. So in the Maybelline Fit Me, I am in the shade Spicy Brown. As you can see, this is how it looks. And then in the MAC, I am in the shade NC47. We're gonna get more into that because I know you guys probably like, NC47, isn't that neutral cool? We're gonna get into that, trust me. So just to like do a comparison of how these shades look back to back. Yeah. Okay, so let's go right back into the undertones. So when it comes to undertones, I know it may be really tricky on how to figure out your undertone, but I personally feel like the easiest way to figure out my undertone was to look at my veins. So when it comes to your veins, if you're a warm undertone, you're most likely going to have green veins like me. I have green veins. If you're a cool undertone, you're most likely going to have blue or purple veins. Compared to if you're a neutral undertone, you're probably going to have veins that might blend into your skin tone, or you might have a mixture of blue and green veins. So once you figure out your undertone, it's going to be so much easier to narrow down your foundation shade. Once you figure out, oh, okay, I'm a cool undertone, so I can eliminate like 30 shades. That's guys, that is so helpful in the process of figuring out your shade, trust me. And you know, sometimes it's really just about knowing your skin, knowing your shade. And I know it may be a little bit tricky if you don't have your own foundation already, like if you're literally a beginner and you don't have any makeup yet. I know it may be very tricky when it comes to that, but honestly, try to find your undertone. Like, I feel like the easiest way to find your undertone is 1000% the veins, because a lot of people would tell you, oh, if you look better in silver jewelry, or if you look better in gold jewelry, or if you look better in both, then you're this undertone. But to be honest, I really do not feel like that's a very practical way, because some people look good in both and you're telling them they're a certain undertone based on that, and they're not necessarily that undertone. So definitely definitely figure out what color veins you have, and that will definitely help you with your undertones. And then previously, when I was showing you guys my foundations, I know I told you that my shade is Spicy Brown, and if you go on Maybelline's website, this shade is one of their warm undertone shades. And if you go on the MAC website, my shade is NC47. So MAC labels this as a neutral cool foundation. However, guys, I want you, when you're looking into foundation, I want you to be very strategic about this. I want you guys to do your research as to finding the best foundation and finding the best brand for your skin type. And I also want you to do research on the brand's definition of undertones, because I'm going to insert a picture right here, and I'm just going to read it out to you what MAC website said. So for MAC's brand, their warm undertones are defined as rosy. Their cool undertones are defined as golden. and their neutral undertones are defined as an equal balance above. And on their website, on the website itself, it literally says other brands tend to define cool and warm undertones as the opposite. So just like how I told you guys, I am a warm undertone. But because MAC Cosmetics defines their cool undertones, how other makeup brands or traditionally warm undertones are defined, they define theirs as cool. I know that when I'm looking for a foundation in MAC, I need to look at the cool sections because they define their cool as warm undertones. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it really well to you guys. I'm trying to explain it the best way that I can. But yeah, always make sure you read what the brands say. For example, if you find out that you're a cool undertone and then you walk into Sephora and you try to find your foundation shade and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a cool tone, and then you end up buying a foundation shade, say you're buying my foundation shade NC47. Well, you will be wrong there because you're thinking you're cool and you're thinking because the shade looks good on you and because it says NC or C47, cool 47, you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm buying the right thing. And then next thing you know, when you go home, you put on that foundation and it looks completely different than what it did in the store. And that's because you didn't do enough research to know that MAC Cosmetic defines their warm undertones as rosy and their cool undertones as golden, rather than the opposite. So make sure that you do your research on that. There are other brands that do this. It's not very many of them, but you know, I believe House Labs does that. I'm not quite sure. I only read their the description of their brand one time, so do not quote me on that, but definitely do your research if that is a brand that you're interested in, and definitely do your research if MAC Cosmetic is a brand that you're interested in as well. And then my other tip for when you're going into the store and you're trying to find out your foundation shade, honestly guys, my whole thing is the undertones. I feel like once you figure out your undertone, you're set. Because it's like, you know yourself, you've been in your body your whole entire life 24/7, so you know the color of your skin. It's just the undertone that you need to really get a grip of and really get an understanding of. And honestly, the whole veins check, I feel like that works so well. Like, I really do think it works very well. And I feel like once you really understand your undertone, you're going to be set when it comes to finding your foundation. So when it's time to go in the store and find a foundation shade, I would definitely say pick 3 shades that you feel like really match you, and then go ahead and match yourself. I know you could, there are workers in there that do help you with this, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I don't have the best experience with the people in Sephora and Ulta helping me find my foundation shade. I've always had the best experience finding my own shade, except for the girl who helped me find my MAC foundation in high school. She definitely did shade match me very well. But any other time, because in high school, the first foundations that I've ever used were Lancome and Estee Lauder. And to be very real with y'all, I did not get a good shade match in the store when I did get those foundations. And I felt like my Lancome foundation was too orange, and my Estee Lauder, that one was too orange as well, and it was also too dark for me. So I feel like it is best to, you know, really figure out what your shades are and really try it for yourself, because a lot of times the people in Sephora and Ulta, they are hired because they're qualified, but yet a lot of people still walk out the store without their correct shade. Back to what I'm saying, definitely pick out 3 foundation shades that you feel do match you, and then once you do that, just make sure you know, swatch it and see what it looks like, and try to match it to your neck rather than your face, because I know a lot of times we have hyperpigmentation, or sometimes our neck is darker than our face. And y'all, to be very honest with you, if your neck is darker than your face and then you pick a foundation that's the shade of your face, you're gonna look so off in your pictures. You're literally gonna look like you bought the wrong foundation shade, because you're literally gonna look so light in your picture. So definitely pick a foundation shade that matches your neck. If your neck and your face matches perfectly, well then that's perfect. But if it doesn't, definitely match it to your neck. Try to figure out which foundation matches your neck perfectly. Now, when it comes to shopping online, because I know some girls do not like to go in store, but honestly, when it comes to makeup, you should definitely want to go in store rather than online. But if you want to go the online route, because I know it's fun, I'm an online shopping girly myself, but if you want to go online, there are gonna be categories of shades. So obviously brands label their makeup with the name. So for example, neutral is N, neutral cool is NC, cool is C, W is warm. You get the gist. So for example, if you're a warm undertone, go on whatever website. We're just going to use MAC Cosmetic as an example. Go on the MAC website and go to whichever foundation that you want. And then if you're a warm undertone, you're going to look at all the warm undertone foundations. And you're going to look at the models and see which model has the closest shade to you. And honestly, y'all, that's why I say it's best to go in person, because a lot of times when you look at the models, I don't know for what reason, I don't know if I'm bugging, but it's like, I feel like a lot of times when I go online and I see the model with my foundation shade, she doesn't have the same like shade as me, but we still wear the same foundation shade. So I would recommend going into the store. But for online purposes, definitely go under their warm foundations and see which ones best fit you. A lot of times, you know, it's 21st century, y'all. A lot of brands have the shade, what's it called? The shade finder, the shade matcher, where you could put your picture up and they'll find your shade based on your picture. Or you could literally show your camera, like show your face like in real time, and they'll tell you what your foundation shade is. But make sure you're in good lighting, because if you're in dark lighting or if you're in lighting that alters your skin tone, then you're not going to get the perfect match. But you know, definitely do that, and brands will definitely help you that way. And a lot of times there are virtual consultants on brands websites, so that's another way that you can find your shade as well. Another thing, when it's time to shop in the store, a lot of times stores would definitely give you free samples. So if you see, I would definitely take the opportunity to go to 3 different brands, test out their foundations, and then pick which one you feel like best suits you, and then go to one of the employees and ask them, oh, can I get a free sample of this? So you could definitely do that if there's a specific brand that you like, or if there's 3 brands that you like and you want to try out their foundation and go home and see if it really looks good. Because honestly, y'all, the ultimate test is when you go home. When you go home and you put that foundation on and it's your correct shade, you know you done won. But if you get home and that shade does not look like you, you know the workers in Sephora and Ulta done did a bad job on you. I just want to show you guys my concealers just to show you if, you know, if it'll help a little bit. So my 2 concealers that I use are the e.l.f. Cosmetic concealers and the Born This Way concealer. So for my e.l.f. concealer, the concealer that's actually my shade is Deep Chestnut. So this is it, and this is how it looks. This is how it looks. This is my actual shade. And this is considered a warm undertone concealer by e.l.f. Cosmetics. And so these 2 concealers that I have right now, these are my lighter concealers. These are the concealers that I would use when I want to do a bright under eye. They're both on the warm undertone section. So this one is, I believe this is warm beige. Oh, no, not warm beige. This is medium beige. And this is how this looks. And then for my Born This Way concealer, the shade that I have in this is Warm Sand. So just to give you guys a reference, that's how I do my concealers as well. I always make sure to get a warm concealer. I know sometimes people might be thinking, oh, just because I'm a warm undertone, I don't think it really matters if I get a cool concealer or this. But honestly, I really feel like it's best to just get a concealer that's your undertone, so you don't have no problems. Because you would hate for your foundation to be tea and then your under eye look gray, or your under eye looks orange, or your under eye, you know. So just try to get your concealer with your right undertone, and your makeup is gonna be, it's gonna be so beautiful, y'all. It's gonna be tea. It's gonna be tea. And if you want to do a side-by-side comparison, I'm gonna do that for y'all just so you can see. So this is the e.l.f. concealer, the lighter one, and this is my Born This Way concealers, as you can see. And then this is a side-by-side comparison of my foundation shades and my concealer that's my actual shade. So that is it for today, guys. I really hope that this helped you, because honestly, I know it is a struggle finding your foundation shade, and I just wanted to give some tips of what personally helped me figure out my foundation shade. And I honestly hope that this helps at least one person out there. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and please subscribe to the channel for more makeup videos. And if you want a tutorial on how I got this makeup look, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you.